Now, as we talked about the yesterday, that and also the Tilopa said to Naropa also that there is nothing to talk about Mahamudra. So you know until as what you call that exhaust something to talk about Mahamudra, you are not realized the Mahamudra. You know if there's, as long as you do feel something to talk about Mahamudra, you are not realized Mahamudra. You know. So the Mahamudra is something you shouldn't consider to sort of to talk about, something to talk about, and so therefore nothing much to sort of like describe about the Mahamudra. But the Mahamudra, practically speaking, it has to be seen. It has to be sort of like seen inseparable from the emotional state of the mind, all the emotions. For example, in a lower sort of like a yana, commonly speaking, we have to sort of get rid of the emotions. We say. So how to get rid of, you have to talk about, for example, desire about your own body. Then of course you have to deal with them, investigating or looking through all the sort of the bone and then the flesh and all these things, so that you don't your body has not much of reason why you have to be attached to it, because it's like made out of bone and all these things, so that the attachment will be like, attachment means like the desire towards your body will be like a little bit like a diminished, and also maybe sort of like exhausted. But anyway, that's something that you have to do. And then also like anger, if you have anger, then you have to sort of like to deal with the anger, you need to meditate, or you need to think about the what do you call that, the compassion and love to fight with the anger. You have to do that so that the anger should not be there. Anger is something that you have to be abandoned, and all these things. Anyway, I don't have to go through all these things, but you have to have some kind of, this is the way that you be practicing. But then in the Mahamudra, or in the higher sort of tantra or something like that, how to deal with the emotions and this and that. The emotion itself needs to be seen. You don't really have to be fighting with the emotion, as I mentioned a couple of times already. Instead of fighting with the emotions, emotion needs to be seen as a Mahamudra. Emotions needs to be seen as the Buddha. Emotion needs to be seen or recognized as a wisdom. So the wisdom or the clarity state of the mind, or the purity state of mind. Purity state of mind is the reality of the emotions, reality of the afflictive emotions. All the afflictive emotions, each of them has the reality state of it itself, and each of the reality state of itself is a wisdom. For example, anger. I mean, in the Buddhist terminology or the tantric terminology, the anger wisdom, the reality state of the anger is known as the mirror-like wisdom, you know, and and the desire, the purity state of the desire is known as again, it's a wisdom. Let's call it a discriminating wisdom. So that sort of thing, So the desire is also discriminating wisdom. It's not a desire that we see as a poison or something. And also the anger, is also the mirror-like wisdom, which is of course wisdom means like the Buddhahood, the Buddha's mind, or it's something. Even if you don't pronounce Buddha, doesn't matter. It's something that it's gorgeous. It's something superb. It's not something that we talk nonsense about. Not something like what we talk like anger. Anger is something very bad. It can cause disasters in this world. It is really like one of the worst emotions that we can talk about. Anger. You get angry. That's so bad. Don't get angry. Anger is something like an embarrassing thing to talk about. But from the point of view of Madhyamaka, from the point of view of the Mahamudra, then anger is like the wisdom. Wisdom means, in the sense, anger itself is the Buddha, the Mahamudra, and anger itself is a gorgeous. If you don't know what is Mahamudra means, doesn't matter. It's something that we don't talk nonsense about. It's something that we talk very highly about. So that is the thing. And if you know, or if you realize what is the definition of the Buddha, then of course you can say that is one of the Buddha that we are used to talk about, like Dorje Sempa, the Dorje Sempa, or the Mijutpa, which means like Akyobe Buddha. Akyobe Buddha. There's a Buddha, the blue Buddha, that Akyobe. That is the thing. That is the reality of the anger is not at all bad. It's a good thing. So the reality. And the reality of desire, that discriminating wisdom, is not a bad at all. It's like a definition of the Buddha, so-called Amitabha. So the Amitabha is one of the definition of the Buddha, one of the aspects of the Buddha. So Buddha is, like if you think about the Buddha being like one sort of one room or one sort of phenomena, that it has a lot of aspect. Amitabha aspect, Akyobe aspect, the Virachana aspect, there are a lot of different aspects. All the different aspects presents in a different wisdom, and which is primordially speaking, it is a wisdom, or reality-wise, it is a wisdom. But of course, if you don't realize it, as it is right now, then we're facing problems. We have a problem. So all the emotions, afflictive emotions, brings a lot of problems in our life, and something that we shouldn't be carried away by that. We should be really controlling. But from the point of view of Madhyamaka, from the point of view of Mahamudra, that is very much the primordial state of the Buddha. So what I'm trying to say is that for those of you who are not familiar with the Buddhist terminology or Buddhist, it doesn't matter. You just have to understand what we are really talking about. For example, when you get through the emotional state of the mind, so-called anger or something like that. You can go. As a skillful method, you have to work with it. You have to work with it. It's something that you have to work with it, not something that you have to try. You have to work with it and try to either abandon, or it has to be try to transform it. So that's the thing. So higher class of a higher way of looking at the emotion, then transformation. We call it transformation. And the lower way of looking at it is that to get rid of it. That's it. To get rid of it. That's the kind of two ways of going it. So, of course, most of us, like people like us, like lay people, we go for the lower one. We just get rid of it. We just have to get rid of it. Look at it as a poison, and then we just get rid of it. How to get rid of it? Means like you can't get rid of it, but you just have to sort of like terminate the activities, the action of the anger, and then how do you say, diminish it. That's the only way you can do it, and you will be able to do it for the time being. It is not going to be permanently terminated. No more, no way to terminate permanently. I mean, to my understanding, it is no way to permanently terminate it. But it is very much needed to be terminated for the temporarily. How to terminate is that, of course, you have to see the reason that there is no need to be sort of angry. You have to see from the point of view of reason that you do not really need to be desire about it. So that sort of thing. For example, angry, as I said, you don't have to. You have to put a reason why you be getting angry. For example, I'm just now from the lower class point of view. Lower class point of view. You have to how to deal with the anger. When you speak about that, then you say, okay, anger. You have to have a reason why you should not be getting angry. There should be a reasoning. You should be reasoning yourself, and that is true. That if you give a reason, if you give yourself a reason why you should not be getting angry, then that reason will help you to get rid of the anger. Get rid of the anger means like diminish the anger for the time being. Means like that not for the permanently, but you'll sort it out, the problem for the time being, problem of anger. Now reason is, now when we talk about the reason, like for example, some of you come, some of you or maybe some people come up with a hit on me, something like a hit on me. I'll be getting angry, for example. Just generally, I'll be getting angry. So, you hit on me, why not? I mean, I get angry. But then, if I'm a practitioner, then as I mentioned before, because of the mindfulness, I would be able to give a little bit of a chance to talk to myself, whether I should really react or how do I want to see him. How do you see, or how do I want to see? How do I want to deal with this anger? How this all about? So then what I would say is that the poor thing, the poor thing means poor man, that man who hit on me with the stone, okay, with the stone. So you have to see, you have to check, and you have to tell yourself, well, this person is hitting on me. I shouldn't be getting angry with him. If I get angry, I think I should get angry with the stone. The piece of stone that really hit on me, that thing. But then when I get, is there any reason why should I get angry with the stone? No reason. Or then I should should get Mr. Bob who hit on me. I should be getting angry at him. Then of course him means who I'm getting angry with him with who is the Mr. Bob, and actually his hand, his hand hit it on me. But then I should be getting angry at his hand or what? No, I shouldn't be getting his angry, but his hand doesn't mean anything. I should be getting angry at him. So him means where you point. So this is like a common Madhyamaka kind of thing. You have to you have to find the reason, and so of course then you have to know that he's hitting, this Mr. Bob is hitting me. His hand has no choice. His hand has no choice because his brain moved. So then his hand moved because of his brain, but his brain has no choice because his heart has no choice because of his ego. So you go subtle, more subtly into this, into sort of like deeper and deeper and deeper, penetrates in, and then you will know that I have to fight with Mr. Bob's ego. I have to kill his ego, not him. Where's Mr. Bob, first of all? And secondly, even if I find some kind of a figure of the Mr. Bob, but what's the point? I have to, unless I can find his ego, really made him angry and made him function his heart is with the angry way, and then brain, and then the movement comes, then hand, then stone, or the knife. It comes like this, then I hit it on me. So you can go straight into one after the other, and then you will find a good reason why you shouldn't be retaliate. So this is the thing. So you shouldn't be getting angry at Mr. Bob. So that is the reason. You'll be telling yourself. So you sort of like then anger goes nowhere. Anger sort of like loses its own way. And so that's it. Then you will look at the Mr. Bob and you will laugh, smile. That's all. What happened with you? What happened with you? You stop. So now we start to talk about the ego. You start talking about your ego or something like that. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but something like that. So you will not be sort of like a common being, the common being who is throwing and crying, throwing stones and beating on him and trying to sort of chop him down. But him means what? I mean, his physical figure is not the Bob, not the, how do you say, not the one who's, I mean, there's no point. The real reality is that his ego did it. So you have to find his ego. So the ego and his misunderstanding, his ego, his sort of like a main thing is his ego, like his misunderstanding, I. So that's the thing that we have to hit on. So anyway, so this is the lower kind of categories or lower sort of way of looking at the anger and the emotions and all these things, and how to deal. That is the way how you deal with this kind of anger. When you have anger, you have to deal with that sort of things. That is the best way of doing it. And the desire, as I mentioned, if you have a strong desire about your body, and you look at the body, and then how you can be. I mean, there's no need to be desired, because it's a most ugliest kind of a desire. I mean, the body. I mean, the phenomena. But there's no reason. I mean, you look at very clearly, very deeply, you look at your body, and you can see that this is very ugly and very, very dirty. There's not really sort of like have a good reason to desire about it, to be sort of attached to it. So there's no point. Right now I was watching television, and they were I mean, it's like a teaching, the Malaysian, this airline, this 17. So they were showing that one very beautiful girl, I think a writer or actor or something very important girl, very important or not, but very nice, very good looking girl. And she was flying, and she was going to Australia or something. And then she was one of the victim there. So then they showed the body. The body is very ugly. The very ugly. Like all the skin was peeled and very, very ugly and swollen and like a real demon. So these two are showing together. You can see. So this is a beautiful girl that now within few hours or 2 hours they become the ugly. Very ugly, look really like a demon. So that shows that that it's a common teaching. Uncommon teaching maybe it's not, but common teaching is teaching there. Teaching is going on there. So you have to understand. So therefore, the desire always say that how good look I am, how beautiful my sort of the person who I really desire to, or attached to. So that sort of thing, but then you have to reason, you have to put a reason why you should not be desired. You should not be sort of attached to. So misunderstanding on that, this is the reason why we always say we shouldn't be misunderstanding about it, everything. Not only the I, the fact that we don't have an I, we don't have an I, no reason why it should be ego, but ego says yes, there is an I. So it's similarly that ego says your body is very beautiful, to sort of attach to it. So the attachment causes a lot of problem, and the main immediate problem is, one of the main immediate problem is of course the desire. So that sort of thing, one after the other. So when you want to deal with this sort of things, first thing is you don't want to be driven by the misunderstanding. So what is misunderstanding in terms of the desire? Then you have to say, okay, I'm desired for this body, then body looks this. You have to sort of go through it, and there is a typical kind of a meditation on that. We call it meditation, antidotes with the desire, antidote of desire, or something like that. This is antidotes. So that sort of thing, that is common, that is very common sort of a way of practicing, and that's what very much needed for us to relax to sort of like found some sort of a peace and mindfulnesses. So you do this, and then mindfulness helps to do that, and then doing this helps to grow the mindfulness, and it goes like one after the other, like a take turn, and then afterwards, slowly, then you will be like balancing these two, and then you will have a peace, you will have a mindfulness totally built. So that's the thing. The actual sort of the obstacles of the mindfulness is the anger and the desire. These two are very much important. So these two will be like handled. How do you say? These two will be handled by these two meditation. Two meditation. One is the antidotes of the anger, and the other one is the antidotes of the desire. So you have to really sort of like apply the antidotes. Each of these afflictive emotions needs an antidote. Excuse me. And so you find the afflictive emotions will not be sort of like having that much of room left in your things. It doesn't really have that much of room. Doesn't mean that these afflictive emotions, you have to understand, afflictive emotions will go immediately and then finished. You will not have any afflictive emotions at that, right away at that moment, or maybe overnight. It's not like that. It will never go anywhere, because there's no way to go anyway. Afflictive emotions are part of your life anyway, but temporarily for people like us need to sort of need to be diminished, like a headache. If you have a severe headache, there's a pill, very very effective drugs you have, no? So we can have that. I don't know what whatever that is. Anyway, some medicines you have. I mean, they're very common. So you can have that one pill, or maybe at most 3 or 2 pills. Then you will get better, and then your headache is gone. But that doesn't mean that headache is gone permanently. It will come back, but it will definitely leave you alone, so that you will have a room to play other things, to do other things. So it's the same thing over here. The emotions will be diminished for sort of like temporarily, so that you can improve yourself into sort of higher classes of looking at it. So then you will be dealing with the emotions very nicely, so that the emotions will be recognized as a Buddha or as a Mahamudra or something like that. But for those of you who has not much of interest in Mahamudra, doesn't matter. You just go through this particular sort of understanding how to work with the emotions, especially the emotion of anger and emotion of the desire. So these two things, this is a very, very interesting to start with. It's a very, very interesting if you could manage to put a reason. Right now, just to simply think that you don't have a reason when you get angry. There is no reason. So that's what we commonly say. It's a stupid, very stupid. Stupid. The anger is very stupid. Anger is very stupid. Desire is also very stupid. If you don't know, of course you don't know the reality of the anger and all these things. But not only that, you don't know the reason also. There's a common reason also is not there. Just because we are very much like a slave of the afflictive emotions. We don't have a freedom. From the point of view of Buddha Shakyamuni, the Buddha Shakyamuni's understanding or his wisdom, we need nothing but freedom, liberation. That's the thing. We need freedom. We need liberation. That's the thing. But rather than talking about being something positive, something negative, something good, something not good. No, good or not, it doesn't matter. Positive or negative, doesn't matter. Big or small, it is very much like depends on whatever that is dualistic mind. But the main point, what we are really talking about, is the liberation. Liberation. That we wanted to get freedom. That's the thing. Freedom from where? From emotions, from afflictive emotions. We don't want to be controlled by the afflictive emotions. Afflictive emotions need to be controlled by us through skillful method. We should be the boss, not the afflictive emotions. We should be the boss. That is the reason why we should be practicing. Why we should be, what we should be doing for, or doing anything, any mindfulness or meditation or whatever. We should be doing it, directing for that sort of direction, for that sort of tasks. We have to know that. That is the tasks. That is the agenda, if you like. That's the problem. That's the issue, that's the problem. You have to understand to sort out. Otherwise, we have no direction. We have no direction. We are kind of stupid, we have no direction in our life. We just, robot, become like a robot. We just let the emotion to drive us, and then sometimes we angry, and then we hit, we break, we kill, we angry at the fly, we kill, chuk, we kill. And we angry at our family members, we scold, we beat them, the dogs and human beings, everything, we beat them, we angry, and then we become very, very ugly looking because we angry, we are very angry, we're very disappointed, we're very sad, and all these things, it's really embarrassing us. It's really embarrassing, it's shameful, and it's also a really bad result also. Anger is really give you a very bad result temporarily, as well as, of course, for long term also. It's a very bad sort of thing to happen. And the desire also desire leads to lots of different problems in this life. And of course, if you believe in the next life, then it brings lots and lots of ugly things in the next life also. But in this life also already we are facing a lot of problems just simply because of the desire. And we can understand, we are having a tragedy in our family, we are a catastrophe in our family, we are disaster, we are creating a disaster in our family. All these things, it's because of the desire, because of the greediness. We have lots of problems. Not only just a mental problem, but physical problem, and family scattered, and all these problems are very much big, huge problems because of the desire. So these things, and that all these desire and emotions are because of the overwhelming on you. You know, you just don't know, and we just run after the desire, run after the anger. All these emotions tells you to go there, do this, do that, and you keep on doing that. That's main reason why it is happening is simply because of the lack of mindfulness. Anyway, lack of mindfulness. We are always like a slave of the afflictive emotions. So therefore, what we really need to target about is that we wanted to get the independent. You know, we wanted to get what you call the freedom. That's the thing. And so that is the thing. And now this is the lower part of the lower sort of a way of looking at or the dealing with the emotions. You know, now in a higher way of dealing with the emotions is, as I said, the emotions are primordially Buddha, primordially wisdom of the Buddha. So you know right now, we as a practitioner, we talk about this Buddha, oh, special, such a holy Buddha. This Buddha is such a holy. There's so many holy Buddhas. You know, all these holy Buddhas are actually is a manifestation of one how do you say, main sort of wisdom. Wisdom is the mind, and then the Buddha that we can see in the appearance is the body, you know, the body and mind. It's we as a human being right now here, we have, you know, this is my body, you know, but my mind is the one thing, that my body, the two things is a very important. And of course in between the speech is there, but speech is, okay, we don't talk about speech very much, but the body and mind, these two are very important, no? And you're pointing at me and say, oh, this is so-and-so guru, so-and-so master, so-and-so teacher, and blah, 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 you know. You look at me, this because of the body. The body is so important in that, in terms of identifying. So it's, of course, a body is important, but body is not the only one. Main thing that really is like my main sort of identification, or my main sort of substance is my mind, you know. If my mind is not there, then my body, even if my body is sitting on the chair, it's a dead body, you know. So that the mind is really important. So the mind is the wisdom, in terms of, you know, like a honorific way of calling. It's a wisdom. It's a dharmakaya. It's a wisdom. So in the Buddha terminology, it's a wisdom. You know, in our external, the body is in Buddha terminology, we call it nirmanakaya. Nirmanakaya. So that is very much like the physical body. These two are very important, you know. So, you know, in terms of Buddha, then of course you say a form of the Buddha, like a Buddha, form of the Buddha has a lot of different, you know, hundreds, thousands of Buddhas, different Buddhas, at least five different Buddha we have, you know. And these 5 different Buddhas is a manifestation, you know, this Nirmanakaya form is the manifestation or Nirmanakaya form of the 5 different wisdoms. And the 5 different wisdoms is reality-wise, reality or the authentic or the real, like what do you call that, primordial state of the itself is mind, is of course your emotion, your afflictive emotion. 5 different afflictive emotions: anger and desire and jealous and pride and all these emotions. So all these emotions. So that's the thing. So, but then these 5, for example, 5 Buddhas are actually manifest from the one, which means the desire. For example, when we are not realized, when we are like right now, as it is right now, our emotions, all the emotions are manifested through the desire. You know, all emotions, you know. Without desire, as I mentioned the other day, desire is the driver. It is a very important to have, the very important desire, if I may say. It's a very important afflictive emotions, you know. There are 5 different afflictive emotions, but the most important afflictive emotion is desire. We move because of the desire. We eat because of the desire. We wear the clothes because of the desire. We make business because of the desire. We sort of create the world better because of the desire. We create world worse. It also is because of the desire. We create the war also because of the desire. It's like a driver of our life anyway. So that's the thing. So the desire, because of the desire we get angry. Because of the desire we get anxieties. Because of the desire we get jealousy, you know. So the desire is a very much the important afflictive emotions, as it is right now. So when we get to when we get to know a little bit more deeper into the spirituality, Mahamudra, and all these scene of the practices, and etc., then again the same thing. The desire is the same thing, continuously will be important, and then that time the desire realized as a discriminating wisdom, that is the Amitabha. So the Buddha, all the Buddhas, and 5 Buddhas, or 10 Buddhas, or the 100 Buddhas, 1,000 Buddhas, anyway, all the Buddhas are like a manifestation of the Amitabha. This is what we call Amitabha Buddha, as a father of the Buddha. It's like a father Buddha. So this we call it Father Buddha. Not only we call, it's a sutra. Sutra said Father Buddha. This is the father of all the Buddha, which actually means, of course, not in flesh, but because of the desire being so important. So of course the discriminating wisdom is so important, because discriminating wisdom, because of the discriminating wisdom, it manifests into the all the wisdom, and then all the Buddha comes. That is the reason why it is the Amitabha is considered to be a most important Buddha. Or this is the thing you have to understand. So bottom line is that, you know, when we talk about the Buddha, I mean, this is Buddhist terminology, but if you don't understand Buddha, don't need to speak about the Buddha. Buddha is a terminology. It's just a terminology of one small group. It's called Buddhist group. Buddhist group, they call it like that. But Buddhist group, doesn't matter what Buddhist group say or call. That doesn't matter, you know. But the reality is that, you know, there is your afflictive emotion. That's all. Your afflictive emotion. When you realize your afflictive emotion, that is the Buddha. Your afflictive emotion is not at all afflictive. It is wisdom. It is crystal. What do you call it? Illumination. You know. Yeah. It is illumination. It is the clarity. You know, clarity state of the mind. It is the clarity state of mind. It is purity state of mind. It is the authentic state of mind, and this and that. So which mind you are talking about? Say when you talk about afflictive, the clarity state of mind, whichever the mind you are talking about, it doesn't matter. You may be talking about anger, which you're talking about the desire. But anyway, the desire needs to be realized. The authentic desire, that is the thing. So at that time, the question is, at that time, the desire is terminated, isn't it? Am I right or wrong? No. Desire is not terminated. This is the reason why I'm saying desire doesn't need to terminate it. If you terminate it, then it's of course finished. Where is Buddha? Finished. You're dead. You know, you are dead permanently. You know, you will never be sort of even if you believe in a next life, there's no next life, because it's dead already. That is not like that. Desire is not terminated. It is realized. Desire is realized. So then it becomes the discriminating wisdom. That is a wisdom. So then the wisdom manifests into the Nirmanakaya form of the Amitabha. That's the thing. So this is the thing. I hope you understand what I'm talking about, but it's very deep and very profound. It is maybe a little bit difficult to understand for lay people, but forgive me if it is really very, very deep and very long winding and all these things, and you shouldn't be feeling kind of frustrated. If I were you, I will definitely feel frustrated. You know, by now I will be walking out. You know. Definitely, because you know the looking at this person, you know, what the what the hell that he's really talking about, and he's really wasting our time and our effort and all these things. Let's talk about something simple. What is he talking about? You know, I mean, if I were you, I definitely will be thinking like that. But of course, you guys are very kind anyway, not like me. So you are still, you know, sitting there and smiling at me and nodding your head. Very kind, you know. And pretend that you understand. Very kind of you, you know, to encourage me, to encourage me to talk further. Anyway, I will definitely. It's very kind of you. But anyway, what I'm trying to say here is, no matter whether you want it or not, whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, we have to deal with the emotions. That is really the bottom line, you know. I mean, you can't afford to say, no, I don't want to deal with the emotions. I don't know. I don't think so. You should be. We should be, because we want it to really improve our life. You know, this period of life. I mean, maybe we don't talk about the next life, but we need to really improve this life, and to be able to sort of like life need to be improved. Why? Because sake of yourself and sake of your family, sake of others, and sake of the world, sake of the country, sake of the city, sake of the village. You know, I mean, your life needs to be improved. And if you don't think about, you know, even if you don't think about the others, but you have to think about yourself. I have to be, you know, making my life little more fruitful and more something useful, you know. So how to do it? You have to deal with the emotions. How you deal, I don't know, but you have to deal with the emotions, you know. There are many ways, but this is what I said is my you know, my way of how do you say, presenting the how do you say, skillful method. This is the thing I'm just sharing with you. But of course, you can find, you are most welcome to find another way of doing it. It's okay. Doesn't matter. We have a plenty of way of dealing with the emotions. It's not only the just what I said is the only two things that you can do. Other than that, no good or something like that. No, I'm not saying that. There are plenty. Catholic way of doing it, Hindu way of doing it, and also the Muslim way of doing it, and of course, you know, that there's lots and lots of ways of doing it. Even within the Buddhism also, you know, that there's a Theravadan way of doing it, and within Theravadan also there's 2 or 3 different schools way of doing it, and of course in the Mahayana also there are many ways of doing it, and then the Vajrayana also there's the outer tantra and the inner tantra and secret tantra. There's a lot of different tantric has a different way of skills of doing it, and many way of doing it. And so it's I mean we can choose many different way, but this is the only way. I mean the 2 of the ways that I wanted to share with you guys. You know, one is the Mahamudra way, that is spontaneous kind of way of looking at it. That's the thing, spontaneous way of looking at it. Whenever the emotion occurs into your, you have to look at it and sort of like how do you say, leave the emotions as it appears to be, without any fabrication, but it just leave it there without fabrication, and and look into it, and then see what it looks like. And then it doesn't matter. You don't have to fabricate like how it looks like. Is it looks like Amitabha, or is it looks like a Kyobe? You don't have to say like that. Just these are the information, but you just have to be look through it, and then leave it on that nature, on its nature. So that's it. That's the way how you deal with. And then that if you don't if you do manage to keep it there without further manifestation or further fabrication, then that's the way how you do the Mahamudra. Nothing much, nothing much to talk about the skillful method of the Mahamudra. And if you can't manage to do it, then you can step down, and then you do the lower way of looking at it. Lower way of looking at it is a very, very practical and very doable, very doable. And it will take a little longer time, but doesn't matter. You just can take time and reason yourself, reason to think, And for example, like a small thing, like a small thing is like some small insects bite you, and you get very angry and kill that insects. And even if you don't have to, the insects needn't bite you. But just flying around, you get very angry. It's very bullying. You are just bullying that animal, because flying around that insects. It has its own right. I mean, it's going. I mean, we are running around everywhere, so we can go. And nobody kills us for running around. So that's the same thing. The insects flying around is okay. The worst comes to worst, you can just do like this, you just blow it out. That's it. You don't have to kill and diminished, But they have to have a good reason not to do that. You can't say don't do it. No. I mean, religiously you can say, oh, you don't do it, otherwise Guru will get angry. Guru will punish you, or maybe the Buddha will punish you, or something like that. Or don't do it because otherwise God will punish you. Yeah, again, goes back to that fear. That's also good anyway. But of course, here we are talking about the reason. You have to have a good reason why not to do that. That's true. You don't do it. You don't kill because it's flying. Even if this small insect bites you, still you don't have to kill, because the insect was not killing you. He's having a breakfast. We had such a big breakfast already. So he's having a little drop of a blood, something from us. What is there? There's an interaction. It's a kind of an interaction. So what? So you have to tell yourself and make yourself more wise, more wiser than the right now. Really, right now it's very conservative and very narrow-minded, and also very angry and very arrogant and all these things. Very picky. You don't want to be picky. You don't want to be so small, so agitating kind of person. You wanted to be wise and like a great man, great woman, You have to be wise. So in order to make yourself wise, how do you make it? You have to tell the reason. You have to find the reason, and then the reason tells you how to be wise. It automatically will come. So then you will be like angry. You will be angry less. You will be like a panic less, and you will be killing less, you will be stealing less, you will be telling lie less, all the bad things automatically less. You don't have to religiously go into it. You just humanly you will be going out of it. That is very much the best way of doing it. Then if you can't do that, then of course religion is very important. Then religion has to be applied. Then Catholic is very good. Then Muslim is good. Then Buddhism is good. Then the Buddhism also, there is a true set of the Buddhism. The religious part of the Buddhism is very good. You shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. And always comes with the finger up, Then yeah, that's the way how it goes. But the best way is humanly get rid of all these afflictive emotions. That's very good. You're very wise. Without identifying yourself Buddhist, you are more than a Buddhist. Without sort of identifying yourself as a Catholic, you are much more than the Catholic. Much more than the priest of Catholic, or all these big shots of the Catholic. Much better, So then that sort of thing, you are really like the very pure Catholic, good Catholic, So the Christianity also, you're good Christian, and also Jewish, and all these things, and also Hindu. You're not identifying yourself, but you are best of everything. That's the thing. So therefore, as a human being, we should be able to put a reason. We don't want to be. I'm not insulting the animal, but by putting the example, very animal as a very sort of bad one. But as a part of language, as a matter of a language, we say don't be animal. That means like be human. Don't be animal. Animal. I'm not insulting the animal, but animal has no sort of ability to put that much of reason. It's a very instinct, like what you call that spontaneous kind of thing. So they are very pure, they're very nice, but when they get angry, they don't have reason, they just bite you, that's all, So, but as a human, what is really the advantage of being human is that you have to have a skill of giving you a chance to sort of think about it and have a reason to sort of like have a reason to not to kill, have a reason to not to be agitated, and have a reason not to apply the reason, not to get angry, not to get so agitated and so small-minded. So these are the things that you have to tell yourself, and if you manage to do that, it's the way that you should be doing it, and that is matter of practices. And I hope you understand the emotional mind is a very important thing that you have to deal with it, and that is the spirituality. When we talk about the spirituality, that is the spirituality, and that is no matter what you are talking about, from what doctrine you are talking about, it doesn't matter. Maybe you're talking from a point of view of Bible, maybe you're talking from the point of view of Quran, or maybe you're talking from the point of view of Buddhist doctrine. Doesn't matter from where you're talking, but you have to be spiritual. The spirituality is the one thing that you have to be nourishing. You have to be nourishing within your life system. That is very, very important. It's my suggestion, my sort of like encouragement, my sort of advice, if you like, that's be spiritual. That is very important. Religion, it doesn't matter, whatever. Religion is something that if you can't deal with it, then you have to apply the religion thing inside, just to make yourself sure that it will work. Something like a additional sort of additional application, Actually, spirituality is a very important. Spirituality is a human, sort of human. If I would say, there's a kind of a human way of doing it. It's a humanly sort of way of doing it. That is the spirituality. An inhuman way of doing it is something either very bad or it's a religion, That's it, It's an uncommon way of doing it. It's a kind of abnormal way of doing it, A little bit abnormal, dress abnormal, talk so abnormal, hairdressers, hair is an abnormal, everything is abnormal. That is a religion, And there is a two-way. Good is religion, bad is evil. That's it. So there's no sort of in between. But in between, what we are talking is in between really the humanly sort of human application is definitely the spirituality. Spirituality is very, very the essential of the life, is the essential of the religion as well. But the life is very, very important. So the essential of the life is the spirituality. That is my, how do you say, conclusion. So if any questions?
Hola. En términos, bueno, primero buenas tardes y muchas gracias por estar aquí. En términos de budismo, la ignorancia es una emoción conflictiva, pero es una, no se siente, o sea, uno se puede dar cuenta si está, si tiene apego o si tiene ira, pero la ignorancia no tiene forma en sí misma. ¿Cómo podemos más directamente trabajar con la ignorancia cuando no se manifiesta como las otras emociones conflictivas? ¿Okay?
Yeah, that's very, very subtle. I think you have been really going through subtle meditation. I think that's true. When this will never know unless you go through a very subtle meditation. You will not know that what is really the true face of the ignorant. Ignorant is really this very sneaky, you know. And anger is not sneaky, desire is not very sneaky, all the afflictive emotions are very, kind of quite obvious to deal with. But the ignorant is really the sneaky, that is true. For example, like, you know, while you are drinking tea, while you are talking, all are ignorant actually, all are ignorant, but there's not really like a big, huge kind of substance, so-called ignorant. We don't know. But everything is ignorant. So that is true. That I'm happy to hear that from you, because that tells me that you are doing meditation. You are doing something. That is true. But I mean, again, I have to say that I have to share my experience. When I do meditation, or when I do sort of when I deal with my own sort of life, day-to-day life, I always, in order to deal with the ignorant, I always tell myself, I always tell and remind myself that these things, these phenomena, the things that you like, things that you don't like, things that you don't like to hear, things that you do like to hear, things that you don't like to eat, things that you don't like to do like to eat, you know, all these liking, disliking, all these things. I always sort of tell myself, liking and disliking is the anger and the desire. Liking is the desire, disliking is the form of anger. But then all these things, when I dislike and like, I always say myself, come on, this is manifestation of ignorant. come on, you know, don't be so stupid. Don't be so. You have to, you know, tell myself, you know, be aware, be alert, you know. Somewhere, somehow, your ignorant is telling you means me, you know, telling you that this is not good, that is good, that is not good. All these, you know, the telling, the inner voice is definitely coming from my ego. My ego, ignorant is. So therefore, it is. I always tell myself. So then I will sort of, through that, I will be able to deal with the ignorant. I mean, otherwise there's no, as you said, there is no ignorant to deal with the, you know, substantially. There's nothing. So I always tell myself, whenever I go through all these, you know, yes and no, big and small, good and bad, want and not want, you know, need and not need, you know, and feel good, feel bad, and sad and happy, all these things, and especially when it comes with some subject, you know, subjective emotions. For example, to do with the papers, to do with the tea, food, to do with a friend, to do with some affairs, you know. Oh, I want this to be happen this way. Oh my goodness, now it's not going to be happening that way, this way, but it should be happening that way. Oh no, that way, this way, you know, that like life is getting like so much of busy. And then, you know, when I go through all these busyness kind of things, all of a sudden I tell myself, okay, come on, all of these things, who's making it for me? This is my ignorant. Ignorant makes this because of my ignorance says this is the good thing for you. My ignorance says this is bad thing for you, and I'm attached to it. So now, attachment or ignorant is really the one. Now, come on, stop. So this is the way how you sort of you face to it, so that you will sort of knowing it. Otherwise, if you don't jump and face it, you will not see it in a substantial form of ignorant. This is my own sort of an experience I'm sharing with you. And of course, with anybody, I mean, whoever is interested to deal with the emotions, the ignorant is very much the sneaky, and it is almost every time it's there. Almost every time. But there is again, for example, in a intellectual knowledge, in a sort of like from a point of view of what you call that, academic kind of point of view, there's a debate. There's a lot of debate. Ignorant is always there, or ignorant is sometime is there, not always. So there's a, again, question, and then answer is varieties of answers there. Some scholar says ignorant is always there, continuously, which I believe that. But then some scholar says, no, ignorant comes sometime, and then doesn't come, you know, and anger comes, then doesn't come, desire comes and doesn't, and ignorant also the same thing, it comes and then it doesn't come, and some scholar says that, which of course maybe this is true also, but to me, to my experience, ignorant is always there, always, definitely always there, you know. I don't know, during your sleep, I don't know, ignorant is there or not, I don't know. But then that's it, except sleep also there, I think, continuation of the ignorant. But when you wake up, then definitely ignorant is there. When you say, when you wake up, oh, what is the time? You know, you always go like this. Ignorant goes like, ignorant makes you look at the watch. You know, all these things, all are ignorant. I mean, to people like us, you know, like common people. Of course, the realized people, the ignorant is not ignorant. It's ignorant, but it's a realized form of ignorant, which is different with the Buddha's level. The level is different. Buddha or the divine level, it's a different. But it's ignorant anyway. But its a level is different. But our level is very low. It's an ignorant. It's a samsaric level. It's a cyclic existence, level of a cyclic existence. Next. You said in... Okay.
Continuando con la pregunta de Cass, cuando uno dice que continuando un poquito con la pregunta de Cass, cuando él dice que la ignorancia es la raíz de todas las emociones perturbadas, y si nosotros podemos decir que el origen de esa ignorancia es la creencia en yo estoy aquí, yo soy. Por lo tanto, cuando yo digo yo soy o me identifico con mi cuerpo, mis pensamientos, entonces toda la realidad allá afuera es. ¿Cómo podríamos de una manera, desde la perspectiva de Mahamudra, saltar a destruir o por lo menos a darnos cuenta de que ese yo soy es solamente una fabricación?
Again, the same thing, the ignorant, I mean, sometimes we call it ignorant, but sometimes you call it ego, doesn't matter. I think it's a different, it's a maybe very subtle difference are there, but actually to me, a very sort of like a grossly, I would say it's the same thing. So when you say, I mean, since I, or that is the thing that the I needs to be, I means like I am drinking water. So I needs a drinking water. So that is the thing. But that is the thing, and then it needs to be jumping into means like that needs to be realized, and then you will find what they call it. I mean, in common language. I mean, in human language, we call it egoless form of realization. Egoless means no I, no I. So you will realize something similar to no I, but it's not no I. But of course, human language is very limited, so you have to say no I, egoless or whatever. Especially when it comes to English, it's a very poor in terms of spiritual language. So very poor. So we have to say I, no I. So the state of no I will be there. Will be there. Why? Because then you will be, you will know that you have to Mahamudra practice. The main practice of the Mahamudra is to search where is the I. You search, you will, until you will not find the I. You have to search. If you don't search, you don't see. So you have to search your eyes. Where is your eyes? You have to search. And when you search, and then you will definitely, after months or maybe years or maybe the tens of years, then you will find that there is no I. So that is the final sort of destination of the Mahamudra. That is what we call fruit Mahamudra or result Mahamudra. So that is what you will find. Until then, you have to search. Where is I? Which is really important, very important for me. It's like what I said. Desire is one of the driver. So it's the same thing. This is also one of the driver. So it really is driving, even the more driver than the desire, because the desire is also driven by the ego. So where is I? So you have to, and then sometime you will find, oh, there is maybe no I. But maybe is not right. You have to see that there is no I. But then you have to tell, if there is no I, then why I am doing these things. Why I am drinking water, what I am doing. And then when we talk about something, I went to this place, I am having breakfast, I am having lunch. I is always there in the language also. Without I, you can't even, make a sentence. So the conversation. So I is so important. So what is I actually? Oh, maybe my head is I? No. The neck is I? No. My body, the belly is I? No. My feet is I? No. So then when it combined, then there is I? Yes, Maybe that is the thing. But then that means it's a combination. It is just a combination, you know. It is a combination. But when your hand is gone, when your hand is taken away, when your leg is taken away, when your head is taken away, then where is the eye? For example, where is the table? After taking all the legs and panels and all these things, then where is the table? There's no table. Same thing, you know. There is no table. But the table is there as long as the branches are there. So the branches parts are there. As long as the parts are there, the name goes into it, label goes into it. But then, you know, as soon as the parts are gone, there's no way to keep the label of the table. So there's no table, literally. So that is the reason why there's no eye. So sometimes you say, oh no, physical body has no eyes, but the eye is the brain, or my mind is the eye. Then where is the mind? Then you have to, second set of checking is, where's your mind? Mind is on the ceiling, mind is on the floor, or mind is sleeping, mind is in a box, mind is in the suitcase, mind is in a refrigerator, or what is this? Where is the mind? Or mind is in our body, my belly, you know, the mind is somewhere in my belly? No. Mind is in my heart? No. Mind is in the brain? No. I don't know. This scientists, they have to find out, I think. I don't know where the mind is, anyway. But, you know, that sort of thing. You have to find out, you know. You can use the scientific, if you are a scientist, any of you are scientists, you can use the scientific knowledge. Where is the mind? Okay, maybe you may say that the mind is in a brain. So you have to use it. And you just don't say, mind is in the mind. Okay, that's it, full stop. No, that is ego, that is arrogant. You're being arrogant. So then you say, that's it, mind is there. No, you have to check further. There's no end in terms of checking. You have to check, and further you will find out where is the mind. So it's sure that, you know, according to the Buddha Shakyamuni, you will sure that you will find no mind, no eyes, no eye. So that's the thing, no eye in everywhere. No eye you will find the no eye in body, speech, and mind, and out, inside, secret, there's nothing. You will find, you have to find. Otherwise, then you will not be realized. If somebody says, that's the reason I sort of like avoid to tell you that. But then right now, he asked me, so then I had to tell you that. There's no choice. There was no choice. But otherwise, I didn't want to tell you this because, you know, I want you to be sort of like checking and putting questions all the time, so that you will definitely find by yourself, rather than me telling you. Or somebody telling you. If somebody tells you, then it's become like intellectual rubbish, you know. I would call it intellectual rubbish. So it's like becoming rubbish. So it's like a nonsense, you know. So it's better not to be told, but better to be sort of found out by yourself. So that's the thing. That's the final thing. Okay, next. This person. He will come. Oh no, okay, you go ahead. You come. You.
Hola, His Holiness. Desde reconociendo esta presencia en el estado de Mahamudra de unidad, ya no hay diferencia entre la acción y la no acción. Entonces, al manifestar de lo que hablaba sobre la sabiduría, el simple hecho de reconocer la sabiduría en cada situación que se tiene que aplicar es ya una acción en sí misma.
Say it again.
Do you want me to say it in English? No? Okay.
No, you can say it in Spanish.
Okay. Partiendo de reconocer el estado de Mahamudra como un estado en unidad, ya no se genera una diferencia entre la acción y la no acción. Entonces, al momento de buscar aplicar la sabiduría, como le estaba explicando en cada situación, el simple hecho de reconocer esta sabiduría sería ya una manifestación en sí misma.
Yes, it's a deep, I think it's a deep, profound kind of a question, which is a little difficult to sort of put it in a kind of a word, I think also. But wisdom, actually the wisdom action and not action, whatever, that is because of the union of the Mahamudra, or Mahamudra itself has not much of, Mahamudra itself has nothing anyway, itself has nothing. But Mahamudra is not something that has nothing. So you have to understand that first, you know. For example, I mean, many people, they misunderstand about it, you know. Mahamudra is nothing, that's it, full stop. But this is not right. Yes, Mahamudra is nothing, but that doesn't mean that Mahamudra cannot have nothing, cannot have anything. So Mahamudra is the universal. Universally, whatever it is there, as I mentioned the other day or this morning, everything is Mahamudra. So Mahamudra embraces entire universe. So that is the reason why the Mahamudra embraces. So therefore, from its own sort of reality, it is nothingness. It is the union of nothingness and everything. So itself has no substance of dualistic attitude or dualistic phenomena. But then when it comes to a wisdom, which means like in a process of meditating, wisdom in the sense of the anger, in the sense of desire, in the sense of emotion, these all the wisdom comes in. That time, how do you say? It comes in a form of realization, in an action of realization, or in the realization itself, and it is realization itself. Realization itself is the, how do you say, is the state of action. But that action itself is the part or the manifestation of Mahamudra. There is no difference between the action and the Mahamudra. There is no difference. It is there. So it's a very complicated, but that's all you have to understand. Everything it's the part of the Mahamudra. It will not be separated from the Mahamudra. So you may be sleeping. It's also the kind of it's a part of the Mahamudra. You will be wake up. It's a part of the Mahamudra. So that's there's no difference between the Mahamudra and the part of the action that you are taking into.
I would love to speak in English.
Oh, you're English.
Yes, you speak in English. So, just as proposal from the first question that linked beautifully your illumination, which I thank you so much. Ignorance. Ignorance of what? Of the emotions. We are slaves of our emotions, of anger or desire, because of ignorance of our emotions.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
Yeah.
it.
That's about it.
And wisdom comes, now the difficult point is how to go about solving the ignorance of our emotions, to really know fear, how to overcome ignorance. We have to just be in fear, be in desire. Anyway, just a link and a proposal. Thank you so much.
Overcome the emotion. Actually, here we are not talking about overcoming the emotion very much. I mean, even though, of course, we would be very happy if we can overcome the emotion. This is very nice. But here we are rather talking about the realizing the emotion, and the emotion needs to be sort of like as he said that we don't want to be slave of the emotion, so we want to have a control on it. No matter how you control, doesn't matter. First of all, we have to control. We have to be having a sense of control. That's the thing. So we have a break right now, and after that, short break, 15 minutes. Then we have a short session after that, and then we finish for today.
Después